Hello, beautiful. Hi, handsome. Welcome back to the channel. If this is the first time of you joining us, I am Onokifa Edith, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. I really do appreciate. So today we're going to be learning how to draft and cut a three-piece corset bustier, and this particular pattern or method, it's suitable for anybody's size. Yes. So, without any further explanation, I'm super excited. Let's get right into the video. So creators, all you have to do right now is get a basic block pattern which comprises of your bust points, your under bust, and the length of your dress, including your full shoulder. So you're going to go down by 1 inch after the length of your dress. Just go down 1 inch. This is not an allowance. You're going to be using it for the construction of your corset. After going down 1 inch, just go ahead and mark it like that. Connect it to the length of your shirt like you can see me do right now. I'm just going to write 1 inch there so you know that it was 1 inch we took there. So the next thing we're going to do right now is that we're going to construct our dart. So take your dart measurement, which is your nipple to nipple measurement of your client or yourself. Take it from your bust point down to the 1 inch we added to the length of our shirt. Create your dart. For me, I take 0.8 inches on both sides. It must not be 1 inch and it must not be 1.5. So to create the amount to use normally for your dart. So I'm going to be marking mine there, and also I'll be going up to the under bust point, and I'm still going to be marking the same number, the same value on my under bust point, guys. So it's really that simple. Just create your dart mark, and after that you take a ruler and draw a straight line right from the 1 inch that we added to your under bust measurement like this. The next thing now is that we want to create the rise, okay, for our bust. So we're going to go down by 1 inch, and if you have a French ruler or a French curve, you can use it to make the curve. But for me, my hands are available and I don't have a French curve, so just use it to make a freehand sketch like that. If you don't have a French curve or a French ruler to use, just go down to your under bust like you can see me do on the video. Now we want to create our bust circumference, and it is usually the distance between your bust point and your under bust. For me, it is 3 inches, so I'm just going to be going up like that, 3 inches, and I'm just going to be using dotted lines and then just create something like an arc right there. Okay, the reason for this is that we want to use it to create our shoulder dart. Now go ahead to your shoulder, the remaining of your shoulder, after you've created your neckline. Whatever it is, just fold your tape into two and it's going to give you the midpoint. Now mark the midpoint on your shoulder slant. After there, you're going to connect it to your bust point. It is not a straight line, okay? It's kind of slanty, so if yours is a straight line, we check. I am just extending the 3 inches mark, okay, because I'll need more for the creation of my shoulder dart. So when creating corset, we need all that we can create because we need to actually make a good rise for our breast to sit. So I'm going to be taking 0.7 inch on one side, and on the second side 0.8 inches, which in total makes 1.5. So you can go ahead to take the same, or you can go ahead and take 1 depending on the size of the breast or the bust you're making the corset for. Since we are done with the top and the bottom, let's go to the center front and create our bust circumference. We're still going to be going with our 3 inches just as dotted marks down to our bust point, and I'm going to be ending there. Don't take it up, okay? So we're going to be making our neckline. I went in by 2 inches and then decided I wanted it to be more down, so I just went in by 1.5. Okay, I went up by 1.5, and then I'll be going in by 0.5 inches from my center front like you can see me do right now in the video. So after doing that, the next thing you're going to do is simply to connect that line at the top to that center front line. It's that simple. Even if you don't have a ruler, you can do this. So I'm just going to make a dotted line like you can see me do right there from that 0.5 inches, and I'm going to connect it like you can see down to my under bust. Just that straightforward and simple. Even if you don't have a French curve or a ruler, you can do this with your bare hand. So now let's construct our side front. So you go down by 1 inch from your bust point as you can see me do on the video. Then from your nipple point, put your tape and you'll be going out by about half an inch. Then from there, you will connect your 1 inch mark to the half an inch mark close to your nipple. That 1 inch is the 1 inch we actually added to the bottom of our shirt, and we want you to create a breast dart, a bust dart, or a side seam dart. Okay, so you also go down and measure a circumference which is 3 inches from your under bust down to that particular mark. I'm just going in there now to just fold it and show you the effect that only our bust dart is having on the construction of this corset. Can you see it already? It's already have this fullness. Okay, so that is the reason for our bust point to actually have this fullness at the side. Remember that our bust is bigger to the side than to the front. Go ahead and open your shoulder dart as you can see me do on the video right now. Now go to your side dart or your bust dart and fold it like that, concealing it, and then tape it down with a sellotape. Okay, so that once we do that, we have actually reduced the 1 inch we took. I'm going to be using a gum. You can use a sellotape, paper tape, anything you have, but just make sure you glue it down. So I'm going to be folding it like that and glue it down so they can live together forever. Now the next thing we're going to do now is to construct our side bust. So it's very simple. This is what you're going to do. You're going to go ahead and measure from your shoulder point, as you can see, to the measurement of your body, and then divide it by 2. Now mark the half point of it, and then you can go down by half an inch, quarter of an inch. I actually went down by 2 centimeters, not up to half an inch. So you can go down like that and then just trace down from that point to your 3 inches you marked at the under bust region. Just take your time to do this if you are actually using freehand sketch, but if you are using a French curve or you have a ruler that you can use, just fix it and the ruler is just going to give you the shape. Ahead. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to blend the sides. Now when you folded, it's not really visible here. I have like 1 inches difference. Okay, so all you have to do is just blend from the top line to the bottom line, as you can see me do with either a pencil or a marker on the pattern. So blend in like that, and all you have to do next is add your seam allowance. For this pattern, I'm using a 1 inch. You can use 1.5 inch depending on what is comfortable with you to sew with. So after doing that, I'm just going to be making use of my scissors, and first thing, I'm going to be removing my darts. This pattern can be used for anybody, any size, just few alterations, okay, and adjustments, and it is good to go. But this is the foundation, guys, for having a really nice corset fit and corset pattern. So after removing all my allowances, I'm going to now remove my bust circumference. Okay, so I'm just going to take my time and actually trim it out and trim the other side out. The next thing we are going to do right now is that we're going to be creating, we want it to be a 3-piece, so we're going to just be creating the piece right now. So you can go ahead and use a sellotape to tape the both ends together like that. After this, the next step for me now is I want to create my 3-piece. So from the midpoint, which is my bust point, I'll go up by 1 inch, and then for my side front, I'm going down by 2 inches, and for my center front, I'll go down by 2 inches. So you can actually use any inches or size that you want. Remember, the more bustier the person, the bigger the inches you're going to use. So this is our 3-piece. Our center front, side front, and the top. Make sure you label, very important when it comes to corset making. Make sure you label them out. Now we want to make our back pattern. This is our basic block pattern for our back with the same measurement as our front. So we're going to be removing 1 inch because we're not going to be using it to make any busts or side darts. And then we're going to be adding our allowances to the back panel. After doing that, just connect like so, make sure you remove the 1 inch you added to the front. Okay, make sure you remove it, don't forget. If not, your back pattern will be longer than your front pattern. I went ahead to mark this seam zip allowance, and also to shade out that 1 inch that we are going to be trimming out. The next thing is create your dart for your back panel. Please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. It's going to motivate me to keep creating content. And if you haven't liked the video, please like the video, share to others if you find it useful. Also, don't forget to follow us on our social media handles. Everything I'm going to be leaving in the description box below. So I'm going down by our 2 centimeter that I took, so that our side fronts and our side back will be equal. I just went in there with my front panel to confirm it, so that we will not have any excesses. Now, for the depth of your back, you can determine that by yourself depending on what you want to achieve for your back design. For me, I just went down by about half an inch, and then I just took a slant line downward because that's what I wanted. The next thing I'm going to be doing, because I'm going to be lacing the back, I'm also just going to be going out by 1.5 inch from my zip allowance point. So I went in by 1.5 inch, and then I just drew a line on it like that. So the next thing is to cut out your back panel. Now, if any place is not clear to you in the video thus far, please make sure you drop your questions in the comment box below, and I will reply to the questions. And please, guys, don't forget, like the video and also subscribe if you haven't. Trim out your dart like this, okay? And after trimming out your dart like this, the next thing you're going to do is, please label. Don't forget to label your side front, your side back rather, and your center back, so you don't get them confused. Also label the part that is the top, so that you know the part that is the bottom. So guys, we are done with our 3-piece corset cut. Make sure you turn on your notification bell so you see the sewing tutorial and the end product we had for our corset. I love you so much. Till next tutorial, keep making progress. Bye for now.